up off the post, you ain't know, now you know, nigga. I take 4-4, nigga.
I've got one more thing that I need to change. I've got a brake hose that goes into the back of that. I'm going to change it into a braided hose line. It's solid, it's brittle, but it's also really soft at the same time. So yeah, we've got to change that out. But apart from that, the front end has been completed. Everything's painted, everything's refurb, every nut and bolt is nice and new. So yeah, we're doing very well. I have a slight issue with the gearbox transmission fluid pan that's leaking at the moment. So when I was filling up that time, I noticed it. Gonna have to take it off and reseal it, I guess. Apart from that, then we're gonna start on the back and it should be all good. There's a few things on the list, maybe about 5 or 6 items that I still need to get. One of them being the main ignition coil, the HTC lead from the center of the Dizzy that it supplies to the main coil. So that's the only thing that's missing. I think I need to work out a bit more wiring because I've got the uprated Eldebrock, I think it's the Eldebrock anyway, the ignition box thing. So I just need to find out which one goes to the ignition, which cable goes to the ignition, and then we should be good. This is the box that I was talking about. It's not Eldebrock, it's MSD, and obviously it supplies with the Pro billet distributor, but I'm missing the main lead off of this. Obviously it comes with that, but yeah, it's just the main lead that sits on the middle here. And then yeah, I just want to get the new covers for this because they're a bit worn. Once the covers are sorted, this engine bay will look pretty sweet as well. Tell you one thing that comes in absolutely clutch on jobs like this, like restoring old cars like this. Say if you're working on like a knuckle or something like that. So on American cars, it's not going to be rusty to the point where it's falling apart. It just needs cleaning up and a little bit of restoration. You'd remove the knuckle, you go over it with a wire wheel on a drill, quickly clean everything off. And tell you what, this stuff, all this rust control kind of stuff, I use Nitro Morse because that's the first thing that's come up. I used to use a company called Cure Rust. They used to be in Halfords, but these have come up just under £20 for a bottle like this. But once you remove all the surface rust, you cover it in that. Not even my first nor second restoration project, and stuff like this has just come in and it's just saved the day. Because obviously it's just removing the rust, it's converting it back to its raw metal again, and then you can just paint straight over it, and it makes the job so much easier. So I removed the gearbox tranny fluid sump. Obviously this is the mastic that I've removed off of the sides already, but you can already see why the gearbox would have been leaking. I mean, take a look at this corner here, for example. I don't know how well you can see that. This is all really low spot, and then up here is all like a really high spot. This was the corner here that was leaking the most, and this is the worst bit of them all. Yeah, you can see there how it's concaving. So yeah, I'm gonna try and put it on a flat surface, knock it down, and try and flatten it out. It's not the best at all. Yo, I started work on the gearbox now. I'm gonna try and sort out the oil pan. Just scraping off the old silicone. We can eventually start gasketing up and putting it on. Hopefully get a good seal again. I won't have to buy a whole new sump because everything's expensive for the Mercury. Right, for silicone gasket to work, do you think we need a flat edge and a brazed edge? And if it is abrased, at what grit should the abrasions be for silicone gasket to work best? That's the question. So I'm going to go with 400. For some reason that makes sense in my head. I've got something in my eye. Oily silicone transfluid gasket does not feel good in the eye. It burns. So we have scraped off all of the gasket seal around the edges, got some brake cleaner. This is a well ventilated area, isn't it? Underneath a car. I'm not tasting it in my mouth at all, no. We have mounted the gearbox oil pan. It's there, it's on. Went a bit overkill with the silicone, but I'm not having it leak anymore. There's no way in hell I'm having it leak anymore. So today is the day we're gonna sort out this central HT lead. I couldn't find the red MSD ones, but we've got an existing black one. Basically it's the same kit, it's the MSD and all that, but it's just the colours. I didn't have the exact right ones. So yeah, I just bought the little adapters and we're gonna make it work. Yeah, so what it is, it's just the end is a bit different. And then just found out it's just the boot that we're gonna need to change. We won't have to change any of the actual the metal parts, it's just the boot. And it's only on this end, whereas the other end's one of these, and it goes onto the ignition coil like so, and it sits on quite nicely, quite watertight as well, so we're all good. And that will just sit in there with the new boot. So we've got it sorted out. I've had to keep that one end because I'm a jeb end. I decided to cut the wrong side, but that one works well anyway. It fits on. It does a dust cover. So we've got it fixed. Sits on there nicely. Now we just got to figure out the firing order with the MSD billet distributor thingy. There is actually a firing order that we have to follow that MSD provide. I've got it here on my phone. 351 Windsor, which is our one. And we've got to follow the studs of 13726548 firing order. It's a little bit different to the original firing order, like to the OEM firing order, because we're running with the MSD ignition system. So we just got to follow that order now. Now I've got to try and get it all correct and follow that. Wish us luck, hopefully I get it right. So I've got it all wired up, points to the right spark plugs, hopefully. I mean, if you guys spot anything wrong, please let me know. That'd be great, because I don't know. It took a little bit of research to find out where everything has to go, but it seems to be right for me. Just got to stick the cap on, get all of them in there, and that'll be nice and pretty. The black one runs down to the coil. Right, and there you have it, all looking smart. Carbs there, still got to figure out a couple of pipes. Some of them are actually blanked off, but the blanking caps have like completely eroded away from age. For now, this thing is looking sweet. The belts have arrived, so once I mount the belts on, we'll pull it out, empty the old petrol, put in the new one, and then start her over. That'd be great. I think for us, it is time now to actually drop the old girl, down off of its axle stands. I haven't checked the oil pan if it's leaking. I haven't filled it up, but I'm gonna put my trust in it and believe that it is actually not leaking and we can actually finally lower it down. So it is that time. I'm gonna put it down, spin it around, get the back end and just start working on the back. Obviously we've got a bit of wiring to do in the engine bay before that happens. Let's see where that gets us. So I've dropped her down off the axle stands, but strangely I've got camber, which I don't understand why I've got camber. But I just need some spacers, I think, just to fill in those arches. Now it's all dropped down, it's sitting nice and low again, so I'm happy about that. So for today, I'm done. I'm gonna head home, pack the stuff up, so I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning. Good morning, guys. So today's issue is with the wiring. As you can see again, trying to wire that up, get the main power going, but this lead is a bit too short now, it's a bit worn, so I'm gonna replace it with either the red or the blue. I don't know if I got enough of the red, so it might be the blue. I mean, we got blue engine, should go with the blue cable. Yesterday, this little male tab popped inside the box, so I had to remove the box, split open, but I seem to have fixed it anyway. It was literally just popped inside. So I'm gonna rewire the cable, rerun it back through the firewall. I had to unwire everything, so the mains lead that goes all the way to the terminal, all the other bits, I still got to try find out where they go again, because I unwired it yesterday in panic. Hi, welcome to the stock interior of a Mercury Cougar. Here today, we're trying to feed a wire through the firewall. Having so much fun. I've gone down a rabbit hole. There's a wire that I need to find. I can't find where it's going. I pulled out a couple of wires at the bottom. I found this thing. I have no idea what it is. So now, pull the dash out and get to the bottom of some wiring, I guess. Let's hope for the best.